Alright guys, I am back with a whole lot of WWE reviews. Got a bunch of stuff here. And starting with the Raw after WrestleMania. Just going to do a quick recap of this show. I liked this show. I thought it was a fine Raw. But I feel like it didn't live up to the standards that have been set for the Raw after WrestleMania. This is a show everybody looks forward to. It's usually got a lot of cool surprises and stuff like that on it. And I felt like this one just kind of fell short of that standard that's been set now. But it was a fine Raw. Some of the best stuff on this show was the forming of Evolution. I know Evolution didn't officially form on this show, but seeing Orton, Batista, and Triple H working together, I thought that was really cool. Also, Fandango's peacock outfit was cool. So Paul Heyman comes out, and he cuts a great promo talking about how Brock Lesnar is the one, and everyone else is just a wannabe. And he says Vince McMahon actually left WrestleMania 30 to go to the hospital with The Undertaker because Undertaker collapsed 5 seconds after the match once he passed through the curtain. And he suffered a severe concussion, a fractured skull, almost broke his neck, and I thought that said a lot about Undertaker and Vince McMahon's relationship. I mean, Undertaker is a Vince McMahon guy. Of all the guys who have come through WWE and WWF, including guys like Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels, Taker is Vince's guy. And he's been there forever, and he's a WWE original character, so I thought that said a lot about their relationship. We get these promos, these vignettes for Adam Rose and Bo Dallas. Now, Adam Rose, I feel it's too early to tell. I really have no idea what the hell this is going to be. I don't know if this guy's going to come out and he's going to have like all these weird characters around him during his matches or his entrances. I don't know what to expect. I suppose it could work. He kind of reminds me of Russell Brand. I'm just going to wait and see what happens with this one. But yeah, the vignettes are pretty silly. And then you have Bo Dallas's vignettes, which are even worse, where he just says, BOlieve in yourself, or some shit like that. Now see, Bo Dallas already had a shot on television. I think it was last year he had a feud with Wade Barrett. And it was terrible. So hopefully he's improved, but I really do not care about Bo Dallas. Batista and Orton don't care about the tag titles. So they have a match against the Usos, and they just try to kill them. Batista powerbombs one of them onto the steps. RVD beats Sandow again. Bad News Barrett gets a great pop. He has a match against Rey Mysterio. The fans just boo the shit out of Rey. They loved Wade Barrett here, and Barrett goes over. It was awesome. Rusev debuts. He squashes Zack Ryder. His finisher is a camel clutch. It was short, and it's how you debut a monster. He just goes out there and kicks the shit out of the guy. Ultimate Warrior comes out. He does his speech, which was pretty creepy in hindsight, looking back. How he says there comes a time every man's heart stops beating, he breathes his last breath, and his legacy continues through you. Kind of strange now that you think about it. But watching this, I thought Ultimate Warrior looked pretty bad out there. Even before I found out, because I actually watched this before I had found out Ultimate Warrior passed away. And he was walking to the ring, and it looked like he was having trouble walking, like he was on stilts or something. And then he got blown up getting into the ring, which I didn't really think that was a big deal because he was trying to shake the ropes and stuff. But just the way he was walking, he looked really bad. I mean, not like near death, but just he looked like he was having some health issues. I didn't think the guy was going to die like 24 hours later. But it's a tragic thing. It's, in some weird way, it's like Ultimate Warrior wanted to set the record straight with that DVD, So he got his DVD out there, he did his Hall of Fame speech, and he said goodbye to the fans, and then that was it. Like, right after the guy passes away, like, what the hell? It was just so shocking to me. But the big tragedy here is that he had a family with 2 young children, so just horrible stuff, man. And the guy was young, so that sucked. And I mean, watching this, you never would have thought that you would be hearing this news the next day. But he gave a great speech, a great farewell speech to the fans about how his legacy will live on through them. AJ Lee is in the ring celebrating her whatever day as champion, and Paige comes out. She's a NXT girl. AJ slaps her, challenges her to a match for her title. Paige beats her by tripping her. It was weird. Paige is using this weird submission move now, which is kind of like the Black Widow. It would have been so much better if she beat her with that, but here she just tripped her. So it looked weak as hell. And this, it seems to be okay. At first I was thinking, what the hell are you doing with this girl? I mean, it's usually a bad idea to push someone this fast. And I don't know if it's because it's the Divas division and no one really cares, but the crowd seems to be behind Paige, and this does not seem to be an issue with anybody, including myself. I really don't care, so why not, right? Hogan comes out and presents Cesaro with a trophy. Zeb says that he took Cesaro to the next level, and Cesaro is a Zeb Coulter guy. What a coincidence that he would say that. So then Cesaro says, no, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Heyman comes out. He says he's with Cesaro now. Cesaro is the king of swing. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I thought this was awesome. Paul Heyman is definitely a good thing for Cesaro. At first I was kind of thinking, maybe now's the time Cesaro should go solo. But perhaps putting him with Heyman is even better. I mean, Heyman's other guy just broke the streak, so we'll see what happens with this, but I'm definitely a Paul Heyman guy, and Cesaro being with Paul Heyman is really cool in my book. Swagger runs out, breaks the trophy. This leads to a bad match with Swagger just leaving and losing by countout. Backstage, Kane is pissed at the Shield, and he's so mad that he says Triple H is the one who told me to destroy you guys on Smackdown. And Stephanie's like, Kane! So Kane lets it slip that Triple H was behind the attack on the Shield. So now the Shield knows this. The main event is supposed to be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, but Orton and Batista and Kane go out there, beat Daniel Bryan down, hit him with their finishers. Triple H walks out like he's just going to steal the title, and the Shield comes out. And they're wearing these new masks, which I like. I think it's a way to kind of freshen up the characters without changing them too much. Just something as simple as these masks. Plus they can sell this merchandise now. I mean, great idea here by WWE. So the Shield comes out, and they defend Daniel Bryan. Well, actually, they get on the apron, and then you got Orton, Batista, and Kane on the other side, and Triple H is in the middle like, no, this is not happening. He said that like 10 times. We do not need a war. Reigns spears Triple H. They all start fighting. Bryan hits Triple H with a flying knee, and that was it. They fight him off. Orton, Batista, Triple H, and Kane have to retreat. And that was the end of the show. It wasn't really bad or anything. I expected a little bit more from this one, but it was fine. So, on to Smackdown, the April 11th show. I'm just going to do some real quick highlights here. I can't think of anything that was very impressive on this show. Some more Cena Bray Wyatt promos. Cesaro versus Big Show. You had Heyman on commentary just yelling, he can't fight if he can't breathe, take his air. So they did some sleeper hold spots. teased Cesaro going for the swing, but Swagger runs out to stop it. I don't know if Cesaro can swing the Big Show, but if he can, I mean, he swung Khali. If he can swing the Big Show, it's better to do it on Raw, not SmackDown. So Swagger stops him. Match gets thrown out. Cesaro wins by disqualification. Then Big Show throws Swagger out of the ring, and Cesaro goes right back to attacking Big Show, and he does hit him with the neutralizer. So, Los Matadores, Rybaxel, very boring match. Rybaxel wins. RVD beats Sandow again. Hogan comes out. He poses with Daniel Bryan. They do the ear thing. Wade Barrett beats Kofi Kingston. Santino versus Fandango. My God, how many times are they going to show this freaking match? Not only that, but they do it again on the next Raw, this week's Raw, and then on SmackDown. Why? So it's Santino versus Fandango. Fandango is with Layla now. I'm glad Layla's back on television, even if it's as Fandango's valet in a sense, or his girlfriend, or whatever it's supposed to be. But Fandango and Summer Rae broke up on Twitter. That's the storyline. Then the main event is the Usos and Daniel Bryan versus Kane, Orton, and Batista. The match breaks down, ref rings the bell. Orton, Batista, and Kane are trying to kill these guys. Kane goes to chokeslam Daniel Bryan through the table. Shield comes out again, saves Daniel Bryan, and Orton and Batista run away. Bryan hits the flying knee on Kane, and the Shield triple powerbomb him. So that was SmackDown. Felt like that was a pretty average show there. So moving on to this week's Raw. This was the Ultimate Warrior tribute show. Throughout the night, they showed moments from Ultimate Warrior's career, winning the Intercontinental title, WrestleMania 6, steel cage match with Rick Rude. They showed a great video package for the Ultimate Warrior. They started this Intercontinental title tournament where the winner gets a shot at Biggie Langston's Intercontinental title. And the first match is RVD versus Del Rio. RVD advances in the tournament with the Frog Splash. I like the tournament idea. I love tournaments. King of the Ring was one of my favorite pay-per-views. However, these matchups were so predictable, you knew who was going to win every single one of them. It's my only complaint with that. Triple H wants Orton and Batista to work with him to stop the Shield. He says if we work together, no one can stop us, not even the Shield. And they say they don't want to. They want to do their own thing. Rhodes Brothers versus Rybaxel. Ryback hits a clothesline on Cody and gets the win. Rybaxel actually goes over here. Paige versus Alicia Fox. I thought this was a pretty good match. Paige wins with that weird submission move, which the crowd popped for. Usos versus Orton and Batista. The Shield come out and attack Orton. Then they Superman punch Batista. They're forced to retreat. So of course you know this is going to make them want to align themselves with Triple H. Cesaro versus Mark Henry. This wasn't anything special at all. Cesaro does hit Henry with a neutralizer, gets the win, advances in the tournament, and that's very impressive. I think he's actually hit Mark Henry with that before. So Cesaro's in the tournament. Rusev versus Xavier Woods. Rusev crushes Woods. He gets him in the camel clutch, refuses to break the hold. Truth runs in and attacks him, and Rusev crushes him too, kicks his head off. Swagger versus Sheamus. This match I didn't really care about. I didn't think it was very good. Sheamus wins with a bro kick, advances. Like I said, very predictable. Sandow cuts a promo. He's talking about how he deserves respect. I don't know what he was actually wanting, but he deserves it. Big Show comes out, and Damian Sandow pokes Big Show. Big Show actually never interrupts him except for his entrance. He lets Sandow talk, and then when Sandow pokes him, Big Show knocks him out. Just a way to further humiliate Sandow, I guess. I don't know. What was the point of this? Bray Wyatt cuts a promo on Cena, calls him out. Cena comes out, makes fun of him. Makes fun of them all. He says that if he could take the Wyatt family out and get them drunk, they'd probably be the life of the party. He said Rowan would probably tell a lot of jokes, and Harper... I don't know what Harper would do. I can't remember. And he says Bray Wyatt would be a ladies' man because he wears white pants, these fancy Hawaiian shirts, and his Michael Jackson leather glove. Just brutally makes fun of these guys. And then he wants a cage match at Extreme Rules. It's funny because after he says that he can get serious, because Bray Wyatt's like, you can't get serious for anything. And Cena's like, oh, I can get serious. And then after he says that, he makes another joke about how Bray Wyatt is not the eater of worlds, but the eater of the world's largest Cinnabon or something like that. Fandango and Layla versus Santino and Emma. Emma gets distracted by Fandango and Layla trips her for the win. What was funny about this match is Layla, she comes out and she's Fandango's dance partner now. So she wears one of those fancy outfits. And she actually wrestled with this long white puffy tail. I couldn't believe she wrestled with that thing. She looked like a albino squirrel. Stephanie gives Kane a pep talk, tells him he needs to become the monster again. Kane takes the mask out of the glass box. It's Wade Barrett versus Dolph Ziggler. This was a good match. These guys hit each other with everything. This was one that I guess wasn't quite as predictable as the others. I mean, Dolph could have won this match, but they've really been behind Wade Barrett. So Barrett hits the elbow, gets the win, advances in the tournament. Then they show a video package for the return of Masked Kane. Kane returning with the mask, and it has new footage. I mean, this just happened, and they already have a video package for it. So I thought that was a really bad idea. Let's see. Cut the volume off on my phone. Then we have the Shield versus 3MB, Rybaxel, Fandango, Del Rio, Rusev, Titus O'Neil, Swagger, and Wade Barrett. So of course this match breaks down into chaos. All hell breaks loose. The ref rings the bell. These guys just destroy the Shield. They beat them up afterwards. And then Evolution returns. To no reaction. Oh, I'm talking about the Evolution Titantron, the music, Orton, Batista, and Triple H come out there. Nobody cared. They were quiet. They were confused. I guess they didn't remember Evolution. I don't know. But it was just no pop at all for this. Very surprising. So they beat down the Shield some more. They all hit their finishers. And Triple H says, "Believe in Evolution." And that was the end of the show. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it kind of sucked that the crowd didn't make noise for these guys. I mean, they're heels, yeah, but they didn't even get booed. I mean, just no noise, nothing. But yeah, seeing Evolution come back is awesome. I really like it. So, as far as the show is concerned, I thought it was... I mean, it was a slightly above average considering, you know, everything that happened with the Ultimate Warrior, and it was a tribute show to him. But at the same time, they did put together the Intercontinental title tournament, which I like. I just wish it wasn't so damn predictable. And then you had the return of Evolution, which I thought was awesome. So, yeah, on to Smackdown. I'm going to put that Smackdown notes. Smackdown starts with Big E Langston versus Del Rio. Big E does one of those little video promo things that they do sometimes before a match. And I thought it was really annoying because I felt like Big E was trying to act like John Cena here. It was just... It wasn't funny. He was trying to tell jokes and stuff, and exactly what Cena does. I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It was stupid. Del Rio gets Big E in the arm breaker. Big E gets the ropes. The ref counts to 5, Then Del Rio breaks the hold, and the ref says, "You waited until 5. You're disqualified." And I like that because you don't see that too often. So Del Rio's pissed off. He attacks Big E. He pulls down his knee pad to kick him in the face. Big E dodges and hits the big ending. Triple H comes out, says the Shield crossed the line. He says that he had to humble him and he would forgive everything if they came back and begged for his forgiveness. He says at Extreme Rules it's going to be the Shield versus Orton, Batista, and Triple H. Paige versus Oksana. Paige makes her tap to the weird submission move. It wasn't as good as the Alicia Fox match, I thought. This show was so weird, man. There was just way too much comedy on this show. We get Hornswoggle versus El Torito. I don't know why. They show this picture where they compare like their height and their weight and everything, and they make a bunch of jokes like Hornswoggle's favorite sports team is the Boston Celtics, El Torito's is the Chicago Bulls. Hornswoggle likes Guinness, Torito likes Red Bull, and then it says favorite movie. And Torito's is Raging Bull, and Hornswoggle's is Leprechaun Origins. That movie that he's in that hasn't actually come out yet. So, apparently the storyline here is on main event, Hornswoggle turned heel and joined 3MB. So you got Hornswoggle versus El Torito. The commentary was very good. It was really funny. It was Hornswoggle versus El Torito. I mean, what do you say about that? But the commentary was good. They were actually mocking Jim Ross a lot on commentary and just making fun of the match and the fact that the fans didn't care. And they talk about how excited the fans are to see this match, and then they actually show the audience and nobody gives a shit, like everybody's sitting down. So they just made fun of themselves for putting on a boring match. Why would WWE do this? They just made fun of themselves. Then Bad News Barrett comes out. He's back on his podium. He makes fun of the match too. Rusev versus Truth. Truth actually does get in some offense on Rusev, but he still gets destroyed. He gets put in the camel clutch. Then Xavier Woods runs in to try to break up the hold, and he gets crushed again too. Fandango versus Santino. Layla steals the Cobra again here, and Emma runs over and pushes her down. It looked like she might have actually gotten hurt here, but Santino sunset flips Fandango, gets the win. This was just another comedy match. Afterwards, Santino high fives Emma with the Cobra, and this like poisons her arm, so her arm's like paralyzed, and she has to like do this thing, and just too much, especially after that freaking, little people match. Sheamus versus Batista. This was the main event. This was a very slow-paced match, but I liked it. Batista is so much better as a heel, and eventually hits the Batista bomb and gets the win, and that was the end of the show. I did not care for this one. I would actually say this show was below average. Just a lot of weird comedy, and yeah, this was a bizarre show right here for sure. So anyways, that's my review of all the WWE shows. Finally caught up. I wanted to just combine all of these into one video. Caught up on Ring of Honor, caught up on WWE, but I'm still 3 weeks behind TNA Impact Wrestling, and I am not looking forward to watching those shows, but I'm going to try to do that sometime tomorrow. So anyways, these are my reviews. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts on these shows in the comments, and thanks for watching.